What if you could improve your English just by listening to a fun story? That's exactly what you're about to do. This isn't a grammar lesson, it's a real adventure. While you follow our character through the streets of London, your brain will naturally absorb useful expressions, sentence patterns, and real vocabulary. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications because we drop a brand new English learning story every single day. Let's jump right in. Jake had never traveled outside his country before, but after years of watching travel vlogs and reading blogs about famous cities, he finally decided to book a flight to London. He had a list of all the places he wanted to visit. Right at the top of that list was London Bridge. He had seen it in photos, in music videos, even in one of his favorite video games. He imagined standing there, watching the river flow, hearing the city all around him. He could already see himself taking the perfect selfie with the bridge behind him. On the second day of his trip, Jake woke up early. The sky was cloudy but bright. A typical London morning. He grabbed a small map from the hotel lobby, pulled on his hoodie, and walked out with confidence. He didn't want to use his phone for directions. He wanted to explore like a local, using signs and instincts. The idea of finding his way on his own felt more exciting. He thought it would make the memory stronger, more real. So, with the name London Bridge repeating in his head, he followed the first sign he saw that said bridge. It didn't say which bridge, but he figured it had to be the right one. How many bridges could London have, anyway? He walked along the street, passing small shops, cafes with warm smells coming out the doors, and red buses stopping every few blocks. He felt like he was walking through a movie set. After about 20 minutes, he reached a bridge. It looked massive, beautiful, towering over the river like something from a storybook. 2 tall towers, with big walkways connecting them at the top. He gasped. This had to be London Bridge. Excited, he took a few steps closer, but something didn't feel right. He looked around and saw a small plaque near the side of the road. It said Tower Bridge. Wait, what? Jake stood still for a moment, staring at the words. That wasn't the name he was looking for. He had heard of Tower Bridge, but weren't they the same thing? Weren't Tower Bridge and London Bridge the same? He pulled out his paper map and started scanning the river. There were several bridges along it, and sure enough, London Bridge was marked a little further down. He had come to the wrong one, but now he was curious. How could 2 different bridges exist so close together and cause this much confusion? He took a deep breath and decided to walk along the river toward the real London Bridge. The sun was hiding behind the clouds, and the wind had picked up. The walk seemed simple. Just follow the river. But he didn't realize that the path curved, split, and crossed traffic a few times. He took a turn, thinking he was going the right way. But after a few more blocks, the river was no longer next to him. He found himself in a quiet neighborhood. No more tourists. No signs. Just rows of identical-looking buildings, with small windows and closed doors. Still, he didn't panic. He figured he would keep going straight and find the river again. He turned left, past a bakery, then a hair salon, then a park he hadn't seen before. He checked his map again. It didn't help. The names didn't match what he was seeing. The street signs were small and hidden. He had gotten lost. For a second, his stomach dropped. This was the first time he had truly felt alone on the trip. No internet, no familiar faces, just him and a paper map that seemed more confusing than helpful. He sat on a bench and looked around. A few people walked past him, fast and focused. They all seemed to know where they were going. He didn't want to stop them. He didn't want to admit he was lost. But then he remembered something he had read once. Getting lost is the fastest way to discover something new. So he smiled to himself and stood up. He decided to forget the bridge for now and just explore. Whatever path he ended up on, he would make the most of it. He took a right turn down a narrow street. It opened into a small market. People were selling flowers, second-hand books, old coins, and paintings. Jake wandered through the crowd, feeling like he had discovered a secret part of the city. He stopped at a small bookstall. The books were old and smelled like history. He picked one up and flipped through the pages. A picture of the real London Bridge appeared in one of them. It looked boring. It was just a regular bridge, simple and flat. No towers, no drama. He laughed quietly. That's why people confused it with Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge looked amazing. London Bridge just looked normal. But now he wanted to see it more than ever. He thanked the vendor with a nod and continued walking. This time, he followed the direction of the river sound. He could hear seagulls and water moving. After crossing a couple more streets and passing an art gallery, he finally saw the water again. And just ahead there it was. London Bridge. He crossed the street, walked up to it, and leaned over the railing. The water moved slowly beneath him. Boats passed by. The city buzzed behind him. It was simple, quiet, real, and somehow it was perfect. He took a photo, not a selfie this time, just a picture of the view. He wanted to remember how it felt. Not just the bridge, but everything that led him here. All the wrong turns, all the unexpected places, the walk through the market, the strange neighborhood. Getting lost had given him a better memory than a perfect plan ever could. Later that evening, back at the hotel, he looked at the map again. This time it made sense. He traced the path he had taken with his finger. It looked like a spiral. He smiled. He had gone in circles, but he had ended up where he needed to be. He wrote in his travel journal that night, "Sometimes, the wrong way takes you exactly where you need to go." He closed the book and looked out the window. The lights of the city sparkled like stars on the ground. He didn't just find London Bridge that day. He found the beauty of getting lost. Without even noticing, you just learned real English in action. How to describe places, talk about confusion, express emotions, and more, all naturally. That's the secret of learning with stories. No pressure, just progress. So, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and like this video. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the bell, so you get tomorrow's story the moment it drops. And here's your question for today. Have you ever gotten lost in a new place? What did you discover along the way? Share your experience in the comments. We can't wait to hear your story.